Son of a bitch.
That's right. We have returned with another episode of Phantasy Star Universe, Ambition of the Illuminus. Episode 3, the second half to be exact. So let's pick up where we left off, shall we? Episode 3, Chapter 5, Ambition's End. Let's hit it. Ambition's End, Part 1. Shit, this one's 42 minutes. That might be the whole stream. The Guardians have squelched the Illuminus' deadly plans by stopping Mother Brain's A photon waves that controlled the Alliance military. They determined that it was these... Oh, it's too slow on that one. A photon waves that made the AMF soldiers run amok. And the destruction of Mother Brain set the soldiers free. Following the event, Fulya and Kurtz and the other surviving Alliance military soldiers pledged to support the Guardians. The Guardians have at last brought the planets Parum, New Days, and Motube together in a joint struggle against the Illuminus. You know, just like in episode 1, against the Seed. Everybody got united. But even now, with Hauser replacing Luntz as head of the Illuminus, they are continuing in their plans to destroy the Goral system. Hauser. Where have I heard that name before? I want to say that it reminds you of somebody, but I don't know who.
Oh, shit!
Well, we know that's illegal. So what do? We play the intro ourselves.
We will choose to fight for a world beyond.
Been a while since I did that. You have to admit. Yeah, skip the intro, man. It's illegal.
It is not too late. It's your home, so don't say that it's fate. We're never willing to give up till our future is built on our dreams.
Son of a bitch.
Just like the intro to the damn stream. Alright, episode 3, chapter 5, Ambition's End. Mina says, "Welcome to the Guardians, protecting the future of Goral." Cute as ever. Thanks, Mina. The lovely Mina says, "Please head to the meeting room, Caters. Miss Martinez is waiting." A little smile. Leo says, "Hey there, Caters." I'm getting used to the name now, but I hear you did good against Mother Brain. Just sounds funny. Tonio says, "We never were able to pin down where Hauser was." Oh shit. Why do you get all the juicy assignments? Mina says, "Tonio, you mustn't get upset with Caters." What the hell is she doing? Miss Martinez decided Caters was the right person for the job. He's clapping. And it was thanks to Caters that the mission was a success. Well, Tonio says, well, yeah, maybe, I guess.
Bruh.
Just being able to get through a mission like that, I guess that means you're kind of a veteran now. I know, I only joined like 6 months ago? No, technically all that happened like, okay, no, yeah, 3 months ago. That would be Ethan. Yeah, every episode is separated by 3 months, more or less. More or less. There was a chapter 1 and 2 from the first episode are divided by 2 months. So if we add up, let's see, 3 months, from where we're at now going backwards. If we go back to the first half of Ambition Illuminus, that was 3 months ago. And then I think it was 2 to 3 months, I can't remember, between the first half of the Ambition of the Illuminus and episode 1. 2 or 3 months passed. So that's 5 or 6 right there. When Ethan did everything in episode 1, basically, except for the first chapter. The first chapter was another 2 months, where he was in training, basically, between chapter 1 and 2. He was in training for Guardians. So, at the Academy, we didn't get to see any of that. Just skipped ahead 2 months. So that's about 6-7 months. And if there's another time skip I missed, somewhere in episode 1 maybe, it's the only one that I think had more than one, then Ethan's been around for just under a year. So he's only a veteran above us by like 2 or 3 months at most, maybe? Depending on how much I got right about that. But yeah, he achieved legendary status pretty quick. But we're getting there now too. As Tonio just said, he gave us props. And Leo says, indeed. I've been a Guardian for some time now. But watching you come into your own has been a real eye-opener. He's like, you young whippersnappers are really showing me up. Tonio says, just keep it up. Mina says, there is a new mission here for Leo and Tonio. Haters, please go to the meeting room. Alright, good luck on your mission, boys. May the holy light guide you. We'll probably find out later what their mission was. Boys, gentlemen. Oh, hold on. I needed a hat to actually do that, right? Like, gentlemen. There. Tip of the hat. Laya says, hey there, Caters. Sorry, but can I get you to wait a second? Sure. What's up? Laya says, so, about the Hugo thing. Does GRM know? I forgot his name, but this dude, Laya's assistant, says no. His relatives have been removed from the management team. Laya says, I see. Still, Hugo and GRM. It's hard to believe. He says, how shall we proceed with the GRM investigation? Laya says, well, the first thing we do is confirm it on site. The more evidence we have, the better. He says, understood. Laya says, GRM and the Illuminus. This time we're gonna show him a thing or two. Going up against a weapons manufacturer. And a death cult. Laya says, oh yeah. Give the informants my regards. He says, yes, Miss Martinez. I don't know if they're ever gonna say his name again. I totally forgot it. Laya says, sorry to keep you waiting. Let's cut to the chase, Caters. First off, I've got good news. You're fired. No, that would be bad news. Depending on how you look at it. He says, we've pinpointed the location of the Illuminus Sochi production base. Sweet! Let's fuck him up. The assistant guy says the Sochi is a bomb that induces an A-photon chain reaction. They gotta give us a recap because at this point, back when the servers were up, it's been like months, if not more than a year, since the first half of the game. So, like in real lifetime for the player. So they gotta remind us. Elias says, Caters has seen it all, so you don't need to explain. Elias says, since we don't need your commentary, go talk to the intel section. Oh no, they slowed it down. Damn it, they ruined the momentum. A lot. Go talk to the intel section and give them their assignment for the investigation. He says, understood.
Bruh.
Elias says, man. What? Why do I have to give every little order to make things happen? He doesn't know you that well yet to be proactive enough, I think. Give him a chance. Elias says, enough about that though. We were talking about the Sochi, right? Yeah. We're getting ready for an all-out attack to wipe out the Sochi. And the Illuminus. Lou, I need you. Lou says, you summoned me? Yeah. Laya says, that was quick. It's like 2 seconds. Was she like right outside? What the fuck? Yeah, she was. Lou says, I was standing by, just outside. Okay. Laya says, eavesdropping, are we, Lou? Lou says, when you do not wish for me to hear a discussion, simply activate my sound isolation device. I have informed you for this. Should say I have informed you of this. Got a bit of a typo. I've seen a couple typos here. Lia's gonna say something about, like, again, I always have to manually give out orders. Lia says, there's nothing discussed in here that I wouldn't want you to hear. She's like, I was just making a joke. You can chill out, Lou. Lou says, in that case, please do not make it sound as if I am eavesdropping. She's getting offended. Ay. Mira esta. There we go. Lia says, wow, stuff like that bothers you? Exactly, like, of all the things. Lou says, it is a question of Guardian's dignity. Alright, he really cares about her reputation. Lia says, sorry about that then. You're getting more lifelike all the time. Yeah? So robotic, you wouldn't think that would have bothered her, but... Oh god, it's the assistant guy again. He says, Miss Martinez, it's urgent. Lia says, what's got you all worked up now? Ah! They came in like that. He says, Headmaster Knave. His treatment. Uh-oh. Lia says, has he woken up? He says, no, he's passed away. Excuse me?
What?
There, I nailed it. Lia says, what? Oh, hey, Zero Kite. Yes, this is PSU, but this is not the Clementine server because they don't have the story missions, unfortunately. I think from what I heard, the episode 3 story missions got completely lost at the time. Nobody downloaded them before the server shut down. They probably couldn't because they might have been protected by Sega or Sonic Team. But people, the person I'm watching right now, I'm watching a YouTube video from a channel that dedicated themselves to recording the story that they knew was going to be lost before the server shut down. These videos are from like 7 years ago. But yeah, I'm not playing on the Clementine server. I'm just watching the story because that's not on the, yeah, that's not on the, this isn't even on the base PS2 game either. Because only the first half of the Ambition of the Illuminus storyline is actually available to play offline in any way. Unfortunately. Not the second half. You gotta watch it here. Sadly. Though, hey, I will say I did see a streamer that looked like she was actually playing this, not watching it on YouTube like me. Like she was actually playing through it, but she might have just been watching the videos. I almost rated her, but she was ahead of me, and I didn't want to get spoiled because I've never seen this before. So I backed out pretty quick. And now I have no idea what her name was or anything, unfortunately. Elias says, Headmaster! Did he actually fucking die? Elias says, why? Elias doesn't say anything. It says they said he was almost fully recovered. Aww. Lou says, Caters, I don't think you were aware of the situation. We haven't heard anything from Knave since the end of the first half. Lou says, Headmaster Knave was discovered shut down in the wreckage of the fallen colony with his distress signal on. Oh, so he was still there. He was, yeah. That makes sense because we last saw him, you know, inactive right in front of the president who stayed on the portion of the colony that fell to Perum. So I guess Knave was still in that section of the colony. He didn't make it back to the residential area because he was obviously possessed and being controlled. Just like the other casts. Lou says, in the wreckage of the fallen colony with his distress signal on. That's where they found him. Oh, Jesus. He had been in treatment for quite some time. Aw, poor Laia. Laia says, we just found the Sochi production base. We were just one step away from destroying the Illuminus. Lou says, but there is a danger that a reckless preemptive strike could spread A photons, causing collateral damage. Lai says, I know that! That's why you two are going to infiltrate the base. You're going to disable the explosion induction systems so the Sochi can be detonated safely. Lou says, you mean we are to hack the base's central control room? Laia says, yeah. It's probably only the second time we've seen Laia cry. Man, if he's really gone, that's sad. He was a real one, man. A bit too, you know, bit of an ass grabber with his hands. He was a little too touchy, but still. The old man was a real one. Is he talking? It says, I see. In that case, perhaps I should go. Laia says, dude, even I was halfway convinced he was dead. Why did he just talk? Was he playing a prank?
What?
Lou says, Headmaster Knave, I see you've awakened after all. Nave says, so I have. What the hell is this shit?
What? What the fuck?
Laya says, hey, Lou, is this her way of getting back at us? Getting back at Laya for what she did? Saying she was eavesdropping? Laya says, what's going on here?
You bastard!
Nave says, well. Miss Martinez. Your new aide is a bit hasty, I gather. God. Laya says, that clamp. I'll give him a piece of my mind later. Now, is she calling him that, or is that his actual name and I just forgot? Is he actually named Clamp, or is she just calling him a clamp as some kind of insult? She's like, I'll give him a piece of my mind later.
Son of a bitch!
Damn. And you, headmaster. Why didn't you say something? Just wanted to watch you cry and laugh about it later. Then he says, give me a break, will you? My cranial unit was under repair for so long that it was overheating. It needed to cool sufficiently before it could be rebooted. So that is his name. I'm gonna try to remember it this time. Laya says, so Clamp saw it shut down and thought you were dead? Jesus. Sudden music change. Laya says, what are the medics doing? Lou says, I'd received a report that Headmaster Nave had rebooted. Okay. But it seems that information was not properly disseminated. No shit.
Do bullshit.
Laya says, pain in the... Nave says, while I was stuck here, I was still receiving updates from Loom. So I heard you're filling old Dalgun's shoes now. Yep. I'm shocked he's... Well... He is a caste, so I guess it makes sense that he was able to survive the colony crashing onto the planet, but, you know, her dad didn't. Laya says, oh, yeah. This is a little awkward. Nave says, I've watched you grow from a baby into a guardian. And now you've succeeded your father. I'm lucky to be able to witness your incredible growth and development. I'm so glad to have been born a caste. Because you can live almost forever, basically. Should be forever, honestly, but... Laya says, and someday you can witness me becoming an old lady and dying. How strange that must feel. Unless, you know, you guys get to work on discovering how to extend lifespans or something. I mean, you guys have some pretty advanced technology. I don't see why that wouldn't be possible. Nave says, ho ho ho, if I'm lucky. In that case, we'd better take care of that pesky Illuminus. First, I'll go with you to disable the Sochi. Laya says, you'd better not overdo it, Headmaster. Nave says, it'll be my way of celebrating your new title, Miss President. Plus, I owe Dalgun one for keeping me alive. Ooh, excuse me. Laya says, did you say my father kept you alive? Oh. He did something? Nave says, when I was pulled from the rubble, I was wrapped in impact absorption boards and airbags. Damn. He put you into, like a car safety mechanism, basically. He wrapped him in airbags and shit. I don't have any memory of when I was out of control. That's true of all the casts, yeah. But the last person I was with could only have been Dalgun. Well, you did try to kill him. Laya says, my father protected you from the impact of the crash? I wonder if he could have protected himself the same way. You think he might still be alive? Lou says, from the circumstances of the colony's fall, we think the only one... Shit. Now they chose to speed it up, of course. We think the only one who could have done it was Obel Dalgun. Laya says nothing. Your father did one more heroic thing before he died. Laya says, but going on a mission in your current state? Nave says, Lou? There is a link suspected between GRM and the Illuminus, correct? Yeah. Damn it. Lou says, yes, GRM terminals have been discovered at Illuminus facilities. If we find substantive proof in the control system, did I say substantial? We might be able to bring them down. Well, guess we'll have to get our weapons and armor from somewhere else then, if that happens. I mean, there's 3 other manufacturers anyway. Nave says, Lou is too important to risk now. Just leave the hacking to me. Alright. Laya says, but... you've only just woken up. Caters, aren't you concerned? No, we're good. What would I have said? I think I would have said, I have some concerns, yeah. Maybe not about his well-being, but about his grabby hands. Laya says, what? Really? Like, you're not even worried? Laya says, well... watch over the headmaster and make sure he doesn't lose it, okay? Nave says, you don't give up. I said I'm fine. Caters here understands, of course. Laya says, I'm just worried that... well, fine. I leave it to you then. Go with Headmaster Nave. Nave says, let's get going, Caters. Alright, Master Roshi. Illuminus Base Area C Block 1. Nave says, it's been a while since we've worked together, Caters. Yeah? Long time. He says, you've become quite a guardian. Last time we worked with him, we were Lacry. He says, come to think of it, the last time we worked together... yeah, we had a whole fucking biological change. We went from being a male human to being a female Newman. Dude, I almost forgot the damn name. It's just coming to think of it, the last time we worked together, we were infiltrating an Illuminus base, weren't we? Yeah. He says, then Ethan showed up in that strange getup. I didn't even recognize him. That was on MoTube. But some disembodied voice says, strange? I thought I looked pretty good. Oh, it's Ethan. And then he says, Ethan!
Dylan! You son of a bitch.
Ethan says, I could hear you this whole time, Headmaster. You here to disable the Sochi? I'll ask you the same thing. What are you doing here? Nave says, and you're here searching for your father? Oh yeah, that too. Ethan says, yes. Nave says, so you suspect he's at this base then? Ethan says, Headmaster. My father was originally an Illuminus member. And he was sent by Hauser to act as a spy in the Guardians. That's a hell of a revelation. Nave says, oh. Ethan says, so then you already knew this, Headmaster? Nave says, there was a reason I kept quiet. First time hearing this music. Nave says, you see, Orson became a fine guardian, through and through. Orson? Wasn't it Olson? Ethan says, yes. Luntz, the Illuminus ringleader. He said the president pushed my father to betray the Illuminus. But I can't figure out why Luntz has locked my father up all these years, instead of killing him. That's a good question. Nave says, with what we know about how the Illuminus operates... Excuse me. There is no reason to keep a traitor alive, I suppose. Ethan says, yes. For a time, I thought he was still an Illuminus member. And he pretended to be locked up to manipulate me. That's what he thought was happening. Nave says, When I heard you were searching for your father's whereabouts, I was afraid you'd come to that conclusion. So Obel Dalgun and I came to a decision. We wouldn't give you our incomplete information and would let you do as you pleased. Why? Ethan says, then my father, all along, you... Nave says, believed in him, of course. Orson Weber is a true guardian. Ethan says, well, he pauses for a moment and says, thank you. In chasing the Illuminus, I've learned some things about my father, too. I've learned some things about my father, too. I've come to believe that his heart is with the Guardians. Now I believe that there's gotta be some big reason the Illuminus haven't killed him. Dave says we think alike, you and I. Ethan, it's important that you've come to believe this on your own. Why is that? He pauses and says, I think Dalgun would have been delighted. Ethan says nothing. He says, what worries me now that Luntz is dead and Hauser is the new head of the Illuminus. Top 10 anime betrayals. Maybe the reason for keeping my father alive is gone too. And since I failed to assassinate the president, maybe he has no value as a hostage anymore. It's possible his standing is even worse off. I guess we better find him quick then. Dave says it's possible. Ethan says, Headmaster, please let me come with you. Dave says, of course, I have no problem with that. However, Caters is leading us here. What do you think, Caters? They gotta give us the illusion of choice once in a while. Consent to Ethan joining or don't consent? I don't consent. Bad touch. Oh, they actually hit it. I thought they were just gonna say yes. They said no. They said fuck off, Ethan. Ethan says, you don't trust me?
You suck!
Dave says, Caters, can you trust him for me? Definitely another reason not to. If you're putting it that way. I don't trust either of you. You know what? Y'all get the fuck away from me. You're all shady, all of you. I will or I trust you, Headmaster. Okay. It's like yes or yes. Like I said, the illusion of choice. I said, I will. Ethan says, thank you, Caters. I had it right and then I made it crooked. Dave says, Ethan, there's one thing you're going to need to be prepared for. Ethan says, what's that? Dave says, we have no proof that Orson is alive. Ethan says, of course, I really hope he's alive. But it would be enough for me to just know that in his heart he wasn't an Illuminus, but a Guardian. Nave says, I see. And lend Caters and me a hand in disabling the Sochi. Ethan says, I will.
Son of a bitch.
Nave says, Caters, our target is the central command room. He's like, roger that.
You son of a...
Trial start. Head for the central control room. Well, here we go. Dave says it looks like they've spotted us. Ethan says then we've got to take them out.
You bastard son of a...
Whip, whip, whip. They went AFK. I like their guild name. What does it say? Bonding Kitty or Barking Kitty? A Barking Kitty, yeah. I might have commented on that several episodes ago, but a Barking Kitty. Kind of trying to picture that. And he was like, "Hey, where are you going? Like, that's where we came from, fool." They got turned around. Nave says if we had time, we could reverse the brainwashing. Ethan says, well, he pauses and says, I know how you feel, Headmaster. But we need to focus on what we can do now. More innocent casts that we have to kill. Feels bad, man. Dave says the central command room should be up ahead. Almost there. Arrived at the central command room. We did it. Dave's like, you're quite good. Can you do better? He's always pushing. Dude's been around over 200 years, so not easy to impress. Nave says, ah! What's up? We found them. The stuff of nightmares. Ethan says, can you disable them, Headmaster? Nave says, don't underestimate me. Stays quiet. He says, This? Ethan says, what is it? Nave says, hey, stay out of my way. What? Ethan says, excuse me. Hella snapped at him just now. Nave says, this is the newest GRM model. This will be tough to beat. Ethan says, let's let him concentrate. We're gonna shoot the shit over here. Chit-chatting, chat-chitting. Yippity-yapping. See, bueno, one of these Scarface idiots. Very few people will know where the fuck what the hell I just quoted. Lou says, what is it? Is that you, Ethan? Ethan says, huh? Oh, Lou? No, I didn't call you. Yeah, what the hell? You called us. Nave says, I called her. Lou, this terminal is a new GRM model. I can't crack it. Sorry, but I'm gonna need your help. Lou says, understood. I will try to sync with the new system. Lou pauses and says, I have synced with the system. I will have the explosion induction cancellation code shortly. Nave says, heh, good work. Ethan says nothing. Nave says, what's with that look? Not even I can come close to Lou's information analysis abilities. Well then maybe he should have come with us. I guess he did make a good point about trying to keep her safe though. Ethan says, I didn't say anything. Nave says, you were going to say we should have just brought Lou to begin with, right? I think you should have looked at me. Yeah, now he's looking and I did just say that, so he got my ass. But he looked at Ethan as if Ethan was there for that conversation on the colony and he wasn't. Ethan says, I told you, I didn't say anything. It's just...
Bruh. You suck!
Lou says, I have found the explosion induction cancellation code. Running it now. I am also hacking the system to obtain any information on GRM. Do I still have that email? That's what Lou's doing. He's hacking. Nave says, very nice work. Lou says, I have finished. He's in. Nave says, now to scramble the cancellation code. And insert a remote detonation program. Or blow the place up. There. How's that? Lou says, I have received the remote detonation code. I can trigger a detonation from here at any time. Nave says, good work, Lou. Lou says, everyone please hurry back to headquarters. Ethan says, Headmaster. Nave says, I know. Orson is next. I better fill Laia in. Some disembodied voice says, that won't be necessary. Nave says, what? That voice? It's Magashi? He says, I'll throw your remains in a bag and send it off to Guardian's headquarters.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Nave says, Magashi! Fucking Magashi jump scare. Ethan says, Magashi! He's using our Guardian's comm line. He heard everything. This guy throws into a body bag. Ethan says, where are you? Show yourself!
You bastard!
Over here, my friends. Oh, here we go. Christian Bale Batman voice over here. Magashi!
You son of a...
You're still alive! There's a shit ton of him, actually. Oh, here we go. He says, you have an amazing ability to state the obvious, just like always. Guardian scum. Dave says, there are 2. Yeah, we fought like 5 of them actually, back on the colony. And a third one pops out and says, did you say 2? How many times do we have to tell you that we exist infinitely before you understand? After all, it's only a group of lowly lesser beings. Dave says, what are you talking about? You aren't even a cast. Let's go, Ethan. Taters? Alright, we're doing it. Renvolt Magashi says, you've lost. It's pointless to continue to resist. Ethan says, you've got to be kidding. Take your own advice. Magashi says, you've come looking for your father, yes? Ethan says... Nave says, Ethan, don't let him distract you. Good advice. Magashi says, it's not too late. Join us and you can see him. He's trying to win him back over. Ethan pauses and says, never!
Son of a...
This is a... Holy shit! Fuck ton of Magashis. And there's more spawning in!
Fuck!
It's getting a little crazy. Good thing we're over-leveled as fuck. There's so fucking many. Ooh, I would be such a loot goblin just picking everything up. Dave says, that was a rough battle. Not really, but, you know, immersion. Ethan says, but I don't think we're finished just yet. Magashi says, ugh. Ethan says, he's still... Magashi says, data acquisition complete. Team 1 wiped out. Hey, look, Alvarez Azel is online. I don't know who the fuck that is, but... Hauser responds and says, very well. Team 2 and I will be there once, I'm guessing? Let me see what he said. Oh. Team 2 and I will go at once. Magashi says nothing. Well, Chewy Yui is online and wants friends to play Minecraft, apparently. I like that they never turned off their notifications to film these. The first one we've seen in a while, though. Ethan says, that was... Nave says, Hauser, no doubt about it. Things just got rather complicated. Nave says, this is no good. After a brief pause. He says, our communications are being jammed. Ethan says, so then remote Sochi detonation is impossible too? Oh shit. Nave says nothing. He says, if that's the case, I must stay behind to detonate the Sochi. Ethan says, that's crazy! Nave says, since we can't detonate them remotely, the only other way is to destroy the base from the outside with a missile attack. But since our communications are being blocked, there's a high probability that loose scrambling of the explosion induction cancellation code was intercepted. Okay. Ethan says, but that doesn't mean... Nave says, if they disable the deactivation codes while we're escaping, then this will be all for nothing. Did he say it that way? Yeah, I read it. Oh, not. Okay. This will be all for naught! Ethan says nothing. Damn. Nave says, you two evacuate. I am the one who asked for Lou's help. This is my responsibility. Ethan says, let me stay behind too.
What? What the fuck?
Nave says, I will not let a young man throw his life away. I would never be able to face Orson and Dolgan. Ethan says, no, I'm staying. I get the feeling that if I leave now, I'll never be able to see my father again. What the hell's he talking about? Nave says nothing. Ethan says, after a brief pause, Headmaster, I want to keep searching for my father up until the very end. He really believes he's here, huh? And if Hauser is here, then I think there's a good chance that my father is too. Nave says, Ethan? Ethan said, you said he wasn't a traitor. I can't go on until I... Holy shit, okay, they kept the speed up now. I can't go on until I hear it from him. If I can hear it from him, then I can die happy. Nave says, you idiot!
You bastard!
You think you dying like that would make your father happy?
You suck!
Ethan says nothing. Strauss said. Nave says nothing. He says, fine. Okay, change of plans. We will just make sure the Illuminus can't deactivate the code. All I need to do is scramble it again. Ethan says, what? Nave says, but for me to do this without help from Lou, I will be defenseless for some time. During that time, you will protect me, Ethan. Got it? Ethan says, yes, thank you. Nave says, and then, after the scrambling is successfully completed, we can use our spare time to take down the base and Hauser with it. Maybe Hauser being here was a good thing after all. It's better than you committing a goddamn noble sacrifice too, dude. Whoops. Nave says, even if we can't destroy the Sochi, if we can defeat Hauser, we should be able to stop the Illuminus. After that, we can do something about the Sochi. He pauses and says, and maybe we can find a way to rescue Orson. And you, Caters, you will escape on your own. We're leaving? Contact Laia and prepare a missile strike. Tell her that if she doesn't hear from us, she should attack the base without hesitation. He pauses and says, I will take the cancellation code to my grave. Make sure they can't stop it. So now we have to choose, escape or remain behind.
Fuck!
Damn. I wouldn't want to abandon them. My homies, man. There we go. Case is like, nah, fuck that. Nave says, I know how you feel. If there are 3 of us against Hauser, then we have a better chance of success. But there must always be a contingency plan. We cannot deny the possibility that we may be wiped out. Yeah. Do you understand? The destruction of the Illuminus comes before everything else. No matter what happens to us. Pause, champ. If the missile attack destroys this base, then we will have succeeded. Am I understood? Well, same choice but different words now. Either way, you're basically saying goodbye. I'd say you two be careful, obviously. There it is. You two be careful. Ethan says thanks, Caters. I know we can count on you. We'll definitely meet again. I'm gonna hold you to that, Ethan.
You son of a bitch.
Dave says, I wouldn't be surprised if we've got Hauser bested. Before you even make it out of here. That's a lot of confidence, Nave. Ho 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 ho. Nice Bogenhagen from FF7. Alright, that's the end of the first half of this chapter. Holy shit. Took us a full hour. Whew. That was quite a trip. I'm all talked out. Alright, folks. We'll pick up from here next time. The second half of this chapter in the next video. But for now, as always, thank you all very much for watching. I appreciate the support across Twitch and YouTube, wherever you decide to watch. What's Cater's doing here? They're mentally AFK, basically. They're just running around. Alright, I guess that's it. Alright, so like I said, yeah, thank you all very much for watching. I appreciate all the support. As always, please do take care. Stay safe out there. Don't die. All that good stuff. Until next time, I hope you all have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, and good night. And I will see you all then. Peace. Also, remember, we choose to fight. And yes, I finally got it right this time.
You son of a bitch.